Hi, thank you for coming in to observe me during one of my most delicate moments. It's very considerate of you. I guess I do like that you're here. You could probably learn a little bit about the kind of ritual that I go through as a transgender woman existing in a society. Joker face. There's a Joker face there. I just guess I wanted to talk a little bit candidly about what it's like. If you exist as a cis person in our society, meaning somebody who isn't trans, you didn't learn your gender. You assimilated it based on behaviors that you learned from other people around you who produced behaviors and interests that you saw commonplace in your behaviors and interests and said, well, that's just fine and dandy, I'll go into that. But if you're a transgender person like me, you didn't necessarily assimilate into your gender. Perhaps you were taught to like different things, or you were taught to behave a certain way that didn't align with your personal beliefs about how yourself operates. But what is interesting about being transgender is that there is no person to imitate. There's typically no one in your life that delegates a way to behave. At least that's my understanding as a transgender person raised by two straight, white, cisgender people. There was no LGBT people in my life, even no one to garner behaviors off of that of. And even now, as we have LGBT youth growing up, there's still people on TV, and more commonly now, even openly out in their families, that they can learn not even necessarily strict behaviors or interests, but just ways that you can exist in the world the same way that this other person is existing in the world. So being trans is interesting because, again, there's nobody like that besides the general strange trans character on television that's typically operating as a joke, or your favorite trans celebrity on Twitter. There's really not a model to follow like every single cis person in the world has. If you're a cis person who wants a certain profession, you can find anybody in that profession. Hell, even now if you're a gay person who wants to be in a certain profession, there is someone to model your life after. And it's not a necessity to have somebody to model your life after. It just helps when you're developing as a person to know what a successful person like you looks like, even. I have no idea what a successful me looks like. I'm fucking shaving with fucking Walmart conditioner right now. Nobody successful does that. But speaking of my Walmart conditioner, the place that I learned how to behave as a transgender person was, most unfortunately, the internet. Yeah, this is the conversation we're having, everybody. Unscripted. My phone is sitting inside of my medicine cabinet right next to my melatonin, also Walmart branded. So when you find out you're transgender, what do? Well, in my case, you steal a Walmart branded clean oil control anti-lucence cover-up, and you use that same bottle of it until you're 23 years old, and then you start making a YouTube video in your girlfriend's bathroom. But no, seriously, what do? What do you do? I don't know what you do. None of us really know what you do. There's no classes on how to be trans or how to be gay or how to be anything, but there's not even any classes on how to be cis. There's just sort of behavioral norms that are projected through our common lifestyle choices. But there's not anything established about how to deviate from that norm. In fact, the deviation is so wildly prohibited that we turn to the internet of all places. And the internet says, steal some CoverGirl from your mom's purse and buy some Walmart conditioner and shave with that. And that helps your face or something? I've been doing that for months now. And do you want to know why? Because Reddit told me that that's what trans people do. Society has ultimately set me up for failure because it put me through the gauntlet of teaching me how to shave but in a boy way, and teaching me how to dress in a boy way. And then when I come out as trans, punishing me for shaving and dressing in a boy way. No, I don't know how to put on makeup to make you more attracted to me. I'm just trying to get my name changed over here. I don't really have time to figure out how mascara works, but I guess I'll go to the internet, which will teach me wrong, and then I'll do it wrong, and then everyone will get mad at me for doing it wrong. What I'm basically saying is, since there are no resources on how to be trans in our society, there's just no way to succeed. There's no specific way to succeed at being trans. All the common tips online are all about assimilation. It's all about how to smell like a girl, how to make your voice have that subtle question mark at the end so I sound like a girl. It's all about how to please all the cis people in society so that they, I don't know, don't send you veiled threats at your job. This is all inspired by me deciding to do some voice training. I downloaded an app, I went on Reddit of all places and decided maybe it's finally time to try and do something about how I sound like this at work. The tutorial I followed was that same condescending bullshit that's always on there. It's really strange reading things written by other trans people who seem to have the intention of making you feel more comfortable in your body, but also trying to placate the same societal structures that make us feel terrible in the first place. Like, yes, my more natural voice is deep, but that's not my boy voice. That's not my boy mode voice. I don't even know what the fuck that is. It's just the voice that I have, and I would like it to sound different without somebody trying to point out that I sound like a man. I know I sound like what people consider a man. I know it's going to take an insane amount of investment to even go outside without feeling even a little bit uncomfortable. Even I don't know what I'm doing now. What is this? I don't know. Somebody gave it to me and said you put it on your cheeks. And so I do that. Why? Why do I do that? There's been a lot of discourse over passing privilege, what spaces need to do in order to accommodate people that do pass and people who don't. And just the concept itself, I think, is what inspired this sort of discussion that I'm trying to have with you as you so rudely interrupted my bathroom time. It's not as quantifiable as we're trying to make it. I've learned this as someone who works retail and wears a pronoun pin every single day to work, which unfortunately invites more conversation than I would like it to. Someone might gender me correctly, but I can't tell if it's because I pass or if they're just a courteous person or if they're just able to read the room, if they heard someone else call me by the correct pronouns, and someone might misgender me, and again, I can't tell if it's malicious or if it's just because they don't know. I guess what I'm ultimately getting at is that playing by these societal rules is just fucking us. It's playing by a game we can't win. It was just designed for us to fail, and telling each other to act a certain way and dress a certain way and put on makeup a certain way, shave with a certain product, do a certain surgery, pay a certain amount of money in order to please someone that doesn't even acknowledge our existence beforehand. It's just fucking pointless. This isn't change that I at all expect to happen overnight, but it's something that I hope we can all take a different perspective on. Airing our grievances around passing about being trans is nothing new, but I think aiming it through the lens of passing just isn't something that I can really get behind. This right now, this isn't me being in boy mode. This isn't some separate persona that I take on. This is safety. This is my work uniform. And even when I do this, people still send me veiled threats at work. Who am I trying to fool at this point? Like, you know that a cute skirt and a top are underneath this and that. I put all this makeup on in order to make somebody think, from a distance at least, there goes a girl. Oh, to be above it all, a general passerby on the street, with no looks or no shock and awe about what I wear or who I am or no questions about what role I fill. Well, I've got some news for you. I don't fill any role, and neither do you, no matter who you are watching this shit. Let us deconstruct the ideas of gender and self together in this unscripted YouTube format, and here in my bedroom, which you have so rudely decided to jump into. Even makeup, hormones, surgeries, they're all just part of a rigid structure of rules that we don't necessarily need to follow. And I honestly really commend the people who are able to feel their true selves without having to do that. I have been brought up in a society that's so structured around rules that I am on HRT. I do put on makeup, I wear different clothes because
It makes me feel better. But voice training specifically kind of makes me uncomfortable. Life's too short to be playing by rules that make me feel uncomfortable. So maybe I'll just have a deep voice for the rest of my life, and maybe you'll just have to fuck with that. It's almost like I made a movie about being trans and being yourself, but nobody watched it.
Wait a minute, what the fuck?
Everybody watched it.
I would love to change my voice. I would love to look different. I would love for something to happen to me. I would love for God to strike me with lightning and for me to look like a tall, giant monster with sharp cheekbones and giant tits. And everyone would look up and say, she's gonna kill us. That would be fantastic. I feel like people are watching this specific part of the movie. Movie? What? This specific part of the video and thinking, man, she looks great right now. If you're a nice person. And you would be correct. I do look pretty good right now. But do I look more like a girl? Maybe. What does a girl look like? I don't know. Again, I would like to look more like one to any general observer, but the process is put through this lens that there's a specific way for a girl to look. Not just a girl, but a transgender girl who's trying to look like a girl. I have this issue where I'll come home and I'll say, honey, I wish I looked like a girl. And she'll say, but you do look like a girl. And I'll say, no, but I want to look like how you look, like how women look outside of me. Not even necessarily how cis women look. I just want to look like a girl. And she'll say again, you already look like a girl. And I say, you know what I mean. But I do admire her because she's trying to make me feel better, for one thing. And for another thing, she's living in a world that I want to live in, where anyone can look like anything. Because we don't have standards and we don't have ideas. I can put on makeup because I like to put on makeup. Or I can not one day, and I can still go out in the world and wear my pronoun pin, and everyone will think, there goes a girl.
Basically, all I'm saying is that there is no gender, there is no performance, there is no passing, there is only man and there is only God, and I will kill God. The Joker!
This was all a bit about the Joker. This was a bit.
You like your jokes? You like your jokes, Little Miss Improv Video Maker? You can't... You ruined your makeup. What are they gonna say?